Eurobanx, described by many as the ultimate friendship and fishing adventure. I've always dreamed of doing my own version, and at the start of this year, I made that dream a reality.
Oh, yeah, Dylan, I've got the mirror. Dylan, get the net. Dylan.
The great thing about fishing is you can make the sport whatever you want it to be. Some will go fishing just to relax in nice scenery and wildlife and create memories, while others will go fishing to try and catch as many fish as possible in a short period of time. At the start of 2024, I wanted to go on an adventure. I wanted to take a friend out into Europe, inspired from Eurobanx, and create memories which would last a lifetime. After months of planning and trying to find the correct person to do this trip with, I was able to find a friend who was crazy enough to take me up on the offer to travel to Italy to try and catch a carp from 91,000 acres of lakes. For this European adventure, I was going to be joined by good friend Dylan Willett, and this wasn't actually the first time that me and Dylan would be doing a road trip together. Back in 2022, me and Dylan spent 5 incredible days travelling up and down the UK, visiting multiple venues, catching plenty of carp, but most importantly, had a great time. 2 years later, and we were sat on the Eurotunnel, ready for another road trip, but this time on a much larger scale. To be honest, in terms of planning, I had left it a little bit last minute. And looking back, I'm not really sure if that's the correct thing to do, but we'll get into that later in this video. All we knew that when we drove off the Eurotunnel, the first country which we were going to be visiting was going to be Belgium. I'd been to Belgium a couple of years ago with my friend Mikey Barnes, had a great time, and I wanted to share that experience with Dylan, and hopefully we'd be able to kickstart the road trip by catching a carp from the Kempish Canal. We didn't turn up to Belgium until around 2 o'clock in the morning, got the moonshine head torches out and started looking for a few fish, but this task proved a lot harder than we were expecting, and it was a good few hours later when the sun started to come up that we found a few fish to fish for to kickstart our trip.
Well, this is it, the start of the adventure. You'll have to excuse the noisy gas station, but after a lot of walking last night, we finally found a spot to fish. It's looking good, isn't it?
And no sleep.
No sleep whatsoever. But yeah, we found a few fish. We've seen a few fish showing down here, seen a few fish out in the middle. So yeah, we're gonna literally unload everything from the van, get sorted, and this is where we're gonna start our European road trip. Cheers, Stephen Cover Fishing Pro. When he gave me it yesterday, I thought it was going to be useless, but it was actually pretty handy, and now we can put the RT7 to go catch a carp in the lake. In the canal.
While setting up, we ended up speaking to a couple of anglers who'd been doing a 2-week trip, and to be honest, the information which they told us, it wasn't something which we really wanted to hear.
And yeah, what did the locals say? They've caught they've caught nothing.
13 nights.
Nothing. They've done 13 nights for 3 fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to pack up all this gear which we've got out of the van for no reason whatsoever. We're going to drive back down the canal, the same route which we done last night, obviously when it was dark, because it's dark when it's night. Check the lily pads and the weeds, see if we see any fish. And then from there we're going to be moving country to France. Bonjour. Bonjour. So yeah. Like I say, that's going to be the plan now. You never know, when we drive down the Kempish we might stumble across a massive group of carp, but from what the locals have been telling us, it isn't fishing the best, and I think we both believe this is going to be the best option, isn't it?
This was far from ideal, but we loaded up the fishing gear back into the van and made the short hop over into France.
See that? That's what France looks like. Absolutely nothing to do except go fishing. We need to do a game of sticks. Who's going to get the right hand side and who's going to get the left hand side. We've seen fish pretty much all over, so to be fair, we're both going to be winners of this game, but right. Dun, dun, dun. Go on, where's he going to pick? Where's he going to pick?
I actually don't know. I kind of wanted to use the pick because I was in a predicament. I'll go. Don't know. I'll go left.
Left, snag side.
Yeah, I'll go snag side.
Sure.
Mate, that was f***ing jet black.
Shame it wasn't on the left hand side.
Oh yeah.
We left the swim about 10 hours ago. We're nearly back at the van. We'll have our rods out by the morning, and no doubt we'll pack up 2 hours later and probably move to Bulgaria or something next. Gonna load up the barrel. Luckily I've got the large power barrel with me. Literally brought it just for this venue if we came here, and we have, so thank God I brought it. I've got the easy life here, and I'm even struggling. So we've done 100 metres, probably got 1,500 to go.
Myself and Dylan were absolutely shattered. It hadn't been the ideal start to the trip which we dreamed of. We'd had zero sleep, we'd been out on the trip for 24 hours, and it felt like we'd barely had a chance to fish. But despite sleep deprivation, once we got the fishing gear into the swim and the sun started to set across the French countryside, we couldn't help but think that potentially tonight we were going to be able to catch our first carp of the trip.
Maybe a catfish. No. Oh no, it's a catfish. It could be £10 or £50, I won't care, but if it's a catfish I'll be pissed.
It is yet again time to move. What we're going to do is pack up, go back to the van, load the gear up, and then we're going to come back down with the stalking gear. And yeah, we're going to go for a little mission in the, what would you call it, the out of bounds that isn't an out of bounds, which potentially could be an out of bounds. The bird's nest, as the locals call it. The bank access is pretty much impossible unless if you've got a pair of waders. And we own a pair of waders. So guess what we're going to do? Yeah, we've literally packed up and we're going to give it probably an hour or two trying to free line for them up in these snags. If that doesn't work, or if we do catch, there's another lake which I checked out last week, which is maybe like 10-15 minutes away. Bonjour. Yeah, that's probably like 10-15 minutes away. So go free line there for a bit.
We're definitely ending today on a fish right?
There you go. I promised this kid a £40 on this trip, or it's money back guaranteed. It's only a little one going across the surface over there. Dylan. Oh my god. Oh no! cut me off. Just hook pull. It's 40 pounder.
Losing that carp really did hurt. Both me and Dylan had tried our absolute hardest so far on the trip and we had nothing to show for our efforts. We decided to pack up from the big lake and head 20 minutes down the road to a small lake in the woods which I'd found on a previous trip in France. When I'd walked around this lake in the past, I'd seen plenty of carp in there. They weren't the biggest carp in the world, but they certainly looked catchable and that was important. At this point, mine and Dylan's confidence was at an all-time low and we just wanted to catch one carp each just to boost our confidence and spirits a little bit before we carried on with the adventure. So we decided to get the free lining gear out of the van and go about catching one carp each from the woods.
We know what's going down. What's going down?
Messy. And there we have it. It might not be the French monster which we were dreaming of, but it is very important as it's our first carp of this European road trip. So yeah, we're going to put it back. Like I said, this lake, I only found it last week, but it is jam-packed full of carp like this. So we're using it just to sort of build up our confidence, prove that we can catch carp, head off to Mackey's, and then we're going to start heading down to Italy.
We know what's going down.
Well, it might not be the big French monster that we was after, but I'm absolutely buzzing to get this. Well, the ones we've been seeing are what, 10 times the size of this?
Yeah, we've seen some pretty big fish this week.
But yeah, that's one each now. Now it's time for the real adventure to begin. Lake Garda.
Fish bash. We are both absolutely beaten up. 2 countries. Can't remember how many venues.
Getting attacked by a dog again.
Getting attacked by a dog. But yeah, we are absolutely shattered. We've been bit. Dylan especially has got loads of multi bites. I've got sunburn. But the important thing is we've both caught a carp. Yeah. Yes, we've both caught roach bigger in our lives, but we have fish under our belts now. So
that's the
only way. The only way is up.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. So we're gonna go get a few bits and head off to Italy. Not impressed with your chips?
Big up the raw bacon. The cheese sauce is cold as well.
After Dylan nearly got food poisoning at McDonald's, we carried on the drive heading towards Italy. It was a big old drive, so we decided to pull over, get some sleep in a service station before making the second leg of the journey in the morning.
Switzerland!
Oh, look at that!
There's a queue. Everyone here is racing for the swims at Lake Garda.
Everyone's got a bucket.
It's an absolute nightmare. There's only 91,000 acres to choose a swim from. I need to put the van into gear. Hurry up!
Finn. Time to go fishing.
Lake Garda, one of Europe's largest lakes at 91,420 acres, and me and Dylan were going to attempt to catch a carp from this incredible venue.
We've been here 2 seconds.
Oh my god, Dylan.
Mate, that's up.
We've literally just pulled up in a car park. There's another one down here. We've literally just pulled up in a car park about 5 minutes ago. We passed a fishing shop. We still need to sort our fishing licenses. And we're just walking along the river which sort of flows out of Garda. We've seen 3 carp already and one of them is probably 40 pounds. Mate, honestly, when you look online, there's not really that much information. But what you do see is there's a lot of comments and they seem to be quite small, but that one there, that was big. That was massive. Well, we've just went into the tackle shop and sorted our permit. The bad news is we're not allowed to start fishing until tomorrow. The reason being is the tackle shop is obviously open, but the post office isn't. So yeah, luckily we've been able to sign a bit of paperwork. The ticket only cost us 13 euros, was it? Yeah, 13 euros, and that covers us for 3 months of fishing on here, which is absolutely bonkers. We've came up for food. Typically we've started looking for fish. We've found the absolute motherload in this harbour behind us.
Bosh. Mate, there's about 400 fish here.
But we can't fish. We just had security come over and we thought we were going to get told off because, yeah, we're just like carp anglers.
But he was an absolute
geezer. He obviously said we can't fish in here. But over on that side of the harbour, you can, providing that you're fishing on the outside of the harbour. But obviously the fish are going to move in and out. But it's also said to check by the canal because there's some really big carp in there.
We're moving to Italy. This is the life.
England, thing of the past. Do you know any Italian words to say apart from ciao? Bella. Straight from Tesco's meal deal section. Pizza because we're hungry and greedy. Bosh. Tell me you're in Italy without telling me you're in Italy.
Just picked up the motor for the week.
You reckon you'll be able to fit your gear in there?
Yeah, it's got a front.
That evening we decided to go back to the van and grab leftover bait from France and use it as pre-bait. We were hoping by baiting up a few different areas it was going to drag carp into the area and get them feeding for when we'd start fishing in the morning. Interestingly, when we were baiting up that night we seen a few carp, but we seen our first ever Lake Garda mirror carp. All the carp that we'd seen that day had been commons between 10 and 20 pounds, but this mirror certainly looks special and we could just both dream of catching a fish like that on this trip. But first of all, we needed to get our licence sorted.
Grazie. Venite qui, venite. No, per pescare. Paga uno, paghi tu, uno.
Perfect, thank you. Bye, ciao. Well, after a few translation issues, we're all legal, ready to fish Lake Garda.
After what felt like forever, finally we were in a position where we were able to get the rods out and try and catch one of the carp in Garda. The first area we were going to be fishing was a spot which we'd pre-baited the evening before on the mouth of a marina. We were hoping as the fish moved in and out of this area, we were going to intercept them as they swam up and down the wall. As mentioned, we'd pre-baited there the evening before and all the bait was gone, so it was a simple case of dropping the rigs and introducing a handful of bait over each rod. We stuck it out here for a few hours, watched the world go by, but with nothing going on, we decided to pack up and move further up the lake.
Well, here we go, second spot of the day. Yeah, we tried off that wall for a few hours, but it just wasn't really happening. So yeah, we reeled in, went and had a look at another spot. Unfortunately, there was someone fishing there. Well, it seems in there's 91,000 acres of water for people to pick and choose where to fish. Someone's decided to shape us up. They've obviously seen on Instagram that we're down here.
Bear it in mind, we pre-baited it last night. He's a sniper.
We've just went out, grabbed some food, went to the tackle shop, went and got some witchetty grubs, some maggots and some sweet corn. And yeah, it's got a lot warmer now. The sun's out, so hopefully this afternoon we might be able to stalk a couple. We've been told about this marina. Most marinas on Lake Garda you're not allowed to fish, but this one in particular, along with one further up the bank, you're allowed. So yeah, we're going to give it a go because it seems to be all the fish that we're finding at the moment in the marinas or under the bridges. So we'll give this a little go, and you never know, we might be able to catch our first one on the first full day down here at Lake Garda.
Oh, geez, did he? That in England, that would have it. There's a couple of big ones still knocking about, isn't there? Like the one I'm about to hook. I think that's a mirror. Oh, it is. Come on, mirror. Go on. That's a big one. Go on. Yeah, Dylan, I've got the mirror. I've got the mirror. Dylan, get the net, get the net, get the net, get the net, get the net. Dylan, quick, get the net. Oh my god, it's the mirror. Come on, Dale. Get it in the net. Don't miss it. Oh, 2 days. Oh, yes.
And how's about that? When me and Dylan came here to Lake Garda in Italy, the goal for us was to catch 1 carp from 91,000 acres of water. And I really wasn't expecting our first fish from Garda to be as big as this or as pretty as this. Yeah, completely lost for words. One of the best carp that I've ever caught in my life. There's a crowd building up behind us. Yeah, this lake is absolutely insane. Right, time to put it back. Bosh!
Okay.
Never in a million years did I expect to catch a carp like that from Lake Garda. We spent the next 72 hours trying to catch another carp from this lake. However, no matter how hard we tried or where we fished, we just simply couldn't make it happen. Nevertheless, we still had a great time in Italy and made memories which will last a lifetime.
Well, after the day that we've had working our absolute socks off in the heat, yeah, we've decided this evening, rather than fishing, we're going to take it easy. We're going to go for a swim in Lake Garda and then we're going to go out and have some more Italian food. We're starting to make a plan in terms of what we're going to be doing next after Garda. We were going to stay down here for a little bit longer, but the fishing, speaking to locals and from what we've seen, it has been pretty slow recently, and as well, we've sort of messed up a little bit not bringing a boat.
What?
It's not that bad once you're in.
Despite the fishing being difficult at Garda, we'd both absolutely loved it. The following morning, it was time to load up the van and start driving back towards the UK. However, we had one more venue we were going to be visiting. We'd heard that Lac Souvenirs in France had been doing a few bites, and we'd kindly been given permission to do the final 2 nights of the trip at this venue. We didn't get there till midnight, but we made the effort of getting the rods out, and to be honest, I'm glad that we made that effort because finally Dylan had a couple of carp to add onto his tally.
Oh, that is a relief.
Yes, Dylan.
Oh, that is such a relief. Oh, I'm shaking so much.
Well, I hope this video does it justice, but this full trip this man has grafted. When we turned up to this lake earlier on this evening, I said to him, I said, trust me, the carp gods will pay you back. And they paid him back. Put it there.
This immaculate common was actually the first of two in the early hours of this morning. Got a lovely, lovely scaly mirror waiting down in the retainer for me to show you. So we've got 24 hours left. Let's see if we can make it happen and catch a few more. Buzz in.
Our first night in France, got back from Lake Garda late yesterday. Yeah, it's been a good move, I'd say, with you.
Very good move.
Yeah, I've been able to catch a tench. It was a big as well. And Dylan's been able to have how many bites? 4 bites, was it?
3 definite.
3 definites, one,
my lead was gone, so I probably would have got done.
yeah, but important news is landed 2.
We're a bit snagged up. Lake's a bit snaggy.
First time playing a fish in a boat.
Yeah, it is.
He does have a life jacket on for all you keyboard warriors. It's just camouflage so you can't see it.
That's not a joke either. Come on.
Can you wind?
Gone. What a At least we've got the rig back, I guess. Might as well bait up whilst we're here.
Oh my god. Oh, I've never so much in my life. Holy please, not fins, 600-pound rods. Come on. Oh, for Jesus Christ. I'll keep that in the edit, Finn, Jesus fucking Christ. As I threw the bait in, the fucking rods come flying out my head. I'm gonna have to redrop that. You know, what a donut.
I mentioned at the start of the video that we didn't have a plan. However, that was actually the plan the full time along. Now, let me explain. If it was planned, we would have went out into Europe and everything would have been very predictable. However, going out there on the Eurotunnel with nothing planned whatsoever, it made it more of a true adventure. We didn't know what the next day was going to hold. Yes, the lack of planning probably hindered our catch rate a little bit, but that isn't what I wanted this trip to be about. I didn't care whether we caught 10 carp or 100 carp. I just wanted me and Dylan to go out there as 2 good fishing friends, make great memories, have a good laugh, and yes, try and catch the odd carp along the way. And that's exactly what we've been able to do. So yes, the fishing had been difficult, but in terms of an adventure and a road trip, this is exactly what I'd dreamed of.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see the Garda pesh, don't forget to scream.
Well, here we go, the final night of the European road trip. Yeah, I am absolutely broken. We've been to multiple venues from 91,000 acre lakes to intimate canals to lakes like the one that you see behind us. The traps are set. I've actually decided to move pegs tonight. Obviously Dylan, he'd been able to catch a couple last night and he lost one this morning. Me on the other hand, it had been a little bit quiet. I was able to catch a tench during the early hours of this morning. However, through the hours of darkness, on the margin behind us, I did hear a few fish. So I've decided, although it's a little bit antisocial for the final night, I've came down the bank a little bit. Dylan's fishing up the right hand side margin, I'm fishing up the left, and between us I'm really confident we're going to be able to catch a few tonight. This full road trip, it's been full of highs and lows. However, for fishing, it has been a little bit difficult. So I'm buzzing that Dylan was able to catch a couple last night, and hopefully tonight we're both going to be able to catch a few and end this trip on a real high. On a plus note as well, in this peg where I've just moved to, I have seen a few fish moving around. However, when I was out on the boat earlier, I seen one great big common, and to be honest, at the time I thought it was probably around 40 pounds, but the more that I keep thinking about it, it was really a big fish, and it wouldn't surprise me if out there the biggest fish in the lake is swimming up and down that tree line. So yeah, I've got the middle rod bang on where I seen that fish, so the traps are set. Here's to the final night. Fingers crossed we're going to be driving home with wet net and a massive smile on our face.
My heart is absolutely racing. It's the final morning out here in France, and the rod is just absolutely tanked off. All night I've been getting liners, and to be honest, I thought I got done on this rod about an hour ago, just before first light. I had a savage liner, got out, and the swinger was a lot lower than where I'd originally set it. So I've sort of ripped that rod off, but I just thought I'll leave it out there just in case if it is actually still presented. And my God, am I glad that I left it. Can't really tell how big the fish is. Obviously with braid it was a little bit different compared to mono. But honestly, after the trip that we've had this week where we've grafted and put in all this effort to finally hook one in the final morning, whether it's £5 or £50, I just want to see this fish go in the net. Please, one more fish to end the trip. Whoa. And finally. Yeah. Oh, it's not a bad fish. And finally, we have a carp in the net to end the trip. This week has been one of the best weeks of my life. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot harder than I was expecting, a lot more physically and mentally demanding than I was ever expecting as well. But in there we have one final carp to end the trip, and it is a proper French dark common. Well, it's time to go wake Dylan up, tell him the good news.
Magic.
We've got one final carp in the net to end the trip. Well, if you're gonna end the trip, you might as well do it in style. This week it's been a griller, hasn't it, mate?
Proper griller.
We've been from Belgium to France to Italy, back to France. God knows how much sleep we've had, but I can tell you, it's not a lot. Yeah, both me and Dylan have really put in the graft. We came to Lac Souvenirs after visiting Garda, which was a dream venue which I've wanted to visit for a number of years. To be able to catch that mirror, to be fair, that was probably the highlight of the trip for me. Then coming over here, being able to catch a few fish. Yeah, unfortunately, it's time for home. So we're gonna put this one back, get everything wrapped up. It's time to head back to the UK. But what a trip it's been, and I'm sure we'll be doing it again in the future.
Like a portrait of you and
Look how blue they are.
So,
Oh, my phone.
Good ASMR. Oh.